What's going on, everybody? My name is Brad Abbott, and welcome to episode number 5 of Gear Stories. Since it's our 5th time around, I wanted to do something a little more special today, so we're going to take a tour around my very tiny home studio. If you've caught other episodes of Gear Stories, you know that I talk a little bit about keeping your guitars in good condition, and one of the most important parts of that is keeping your guitars in a humidity-controlled environment. I'm going to go ahead and lead the camera right here to our humidity monitor. It's 46% 46% relative humidity right now, and it is 78 degrees Fahrenheit here in the studio, which is why during this video you may notice that I am sweating. So let's actually go to where the magic happens. What's important here is the Studio Live AR16 USB. That is what they call a 16-channel mixer, but in reality it's more of a 12-channel mixer. That's just some fancy marketing thing that mixer companies do, but that's nothing against pre-sonus. I have nothing but love for pre-sonus. They're a great company. This runs into my MacBook Pro, which is running Studio One Professional, which is also a pre-sonus product. Running out from the computer, we have the KRK Classic 5s, which means they are a 5-inch subwoofer studio monitor, and that is what I mixed the latest LP on. And everything with the latest LP was recorded right here in the home studio. I like to have everything ready at a moment's notice, so you'll notice that I have mics already connected up to the mixer. Everything is ready to go when I walk in here, so if I have an idea, I can grab that mic right there, put it in front of my guitar, and we are in business. We got the vocal mic here. I use that a lot for miking acoustic guitars or the guitar amplifiers. Then there's also a pencil mic back there if I need to get a more stereo sound on acoustic guitars or just need a different mic for whatever reason. Over here we have the key station. This is a MIDI controller by Nectar. This is what I used to program a lot of the synth and string parts for the How Are You record. And down here you'll notice the Yamaha keyboard. I got this with the intention of learning how to play keys, and then I proceeded to not learn how to play keys, but I'm working on it. We'll get there eventually. You'll also see surrounding us that we have sound treatment. And a common misconception with this sound treatment is that it's soundproofing. That is not at all the case, actually. This foam here doesn't do anything at all for your neighbors. I know that because my neighbors hate me because I'm loud. This foam's purpose is to keep sound from bouncing off of one wall and into your microphone. And that's also the purpose of this blanket here. There's a window behind that, so you really can't foam a window. So we have a blanket here that serves the same purpose. You can't really have sound bouncing off of that and echoing into your mic. A little fun fact about the studio foam. To tack this up, I didn't hire a professional or anything, which would be the smart thing to do. What I did was I got some spray adhesive and I just went spray happy with it. As a result of that, you'll see that I got glue all over this keyboard, and now there is a permanent film on the keys, much to Josh's dismay. He hates playing this thing, and it looks real nasty, but it is what it is. We had just moved in at the time, so all the dust from moving stuff and painting and sanding and what have you was everywhere in the air, and then you added glue to the mix and everything just stuck to the keyboards. When I realized what I had done, which was luckily that same night, I took guitar polish and I took it to the back of the guitar necks and wiped everything off. Luckily none of the guitars had permanent damage, which leads us to our next point. Here we have the guitar rack. This is the majority of my guitar collection. We'll go through a couple of these real quick. A couple of them you have seen on Gear Stories. So we'll save the best for last. We're going to go over here to the Bedell TB17G. This was in a more recent episode. I love this thing. I've been writing on it a lot lately, and most of the acoustic guitar parts that you will hear on the How Are You LP were recorded on this guitar. In fact, all of them with the exception of the song Indestructible. Going over here, we have my main live piece, which is a Taylor 214 CE, also featured in an episode of Gear Stories. I talked about why this is my main guitar in that episode. I love this thing. It's got a nice small body. It's laminate back and side, so you don't really have to worry too much about moisture. You still have to worry about moisture and all that, but a little less so with the back and sides being laminate, and that also helps it be a little more affordable. Moving on from there, we have the Satin Purple Strat. Now this one is going to be in a future episode of Gear Stories. When I called Guitar Center to pick this up, the guy actually told me that it had already been sold because he couldn't find it, even though I gave him the listing number. I was still looking on their online used site after that, and 3 days later, I saw that it was still listed on the website, so I called again. That guy was able to find it. I had it sent to me, and I was very happy that I did. That will never leave the collection. I really love the way the black pickguard looks on that satin purple. And then, of course, my prized Taylor 210E. Now, you want to talk about sentimental value, this is it. This was a gift from my parents and grandparents for my graduation. They knew I wanted to be heavily involved with music, so they picked this up for me. Actually, my mother and I went to Guitar Center to pick this out, and I fell in love with this thing right there. We took it home, and it led to all kinds of songwriting, all kinds of inspiration. All of my first shows were played on this guitar. This has seen the old Keynote building, and this is another one that will never leave my possession. It is so very special to me. In fact, it's a part of me at this point. Over here, we have the amp section. We have the Fender DeVille, which is an all-tube amp. If I'm ever miking a cabinet, or if I'm ever miking an amp, that's the one I'm miking. I don't really see much point to miking a solid-state amp. At that point, you might as well just use software. Then we got the Fender Rumble bass amp, which is cool because it's got this red pulsing light that goes along with your bass. Makes you feel a little cooler than you actually are. The acoustic amp, I use that as the backline amp when I host open mics, and I also use it occasionally for just regular shows, but that has played a vital role in the open mics. You can really dial in the sound a lot better when you have something controlling the guitars and then running into the PA. Now, I'm not much of a drummer. In fact, when I record albums or record songs, I program my drums. But over here, we have my very basic percussion kit. I won't even really call it a drum kit. What I originally wanted to do was get involved in hand percussion, maybe have some bongos and such. We have a cajon down here with a kick pedal in front of it. And then we have the PDP, I believe that is? Yeah, PDP by DW snare drum, which was a gift from Frank from Sourloon. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. Dog hates it, though. And then over in here is where I store all of my live equipment. So you'll see that we've got a bunch of guitar straps hanging up. There's quite a few guitar cases and 3 PA systems, 2 Fender Passports down here, a Gear 1 8-channel up here with mains and monitors. Plenty of cases. We got a spare mixer just in case that goes down, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go for anything. So this is it. This is where I come when I want to get inspired and when I want to create. When you come into this room, you are totally surrounded by music. No matter where you look, you either have guitars or drums or keyboards or a mixer or studio foam, and you just see that, and it's hard not to be inspired to make music and create. So this is like my little escape, and this is where I've recorded pretty much everything since I've moved in here, from a EP with Sourloon to 2 solo EPs, and now my most recent thing, the How Are You full-length album that I'm so very excited to be releasing in the fall. We've got a bunch of singles coming out in the coming months. A song called Vivian, a song called Arson. We're going to be releasing Long Nights very soon. So I hope you guys will stay in touch with me here on YouTube. Click subscribe and ring the bell. You'll get notified when new videos come out. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. My handles on all 3 of those sites is at Brad Abbott Music. And of course, the most important one where you can join the mailing list and get updates, exclusive content, and free downloads is bradabbotmusic.com. If you're really into it and you get involved and we're talking all the time and I see you at live shows, you might even be invited to join my invite-only group called The Journey, where I give you guys even more exclusive content and behind the scenes videos from the studio. There's going to be giveaways of lyric sheets and handmade albums. So if you're into that kind of thing, please get in touch with me, send me a message, leave comments, let's talk. I try to be as friendly as possible, so let's make music together, let's make memories together. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Brad Abbott, and I hope to see you in the next one.